Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris and I am your host. And when we went to break, we were talking with George Holland. George is the president of the Oakland branch of NAACP. George, you mentioned critical race theory. What do you mean by critical race theory? Does that involve teaching of black history or whatever in the public schools?
Well, I'm a little confused because first I didn't understand what those folks was talking about, but they put this new theory on me. I said, well, what new theory? Teaching creation. What is that? I thought that history is history. And
well, it used to be.
Yeah, if you would report history as it was known to you, I can't say taught to you because they don't teach black folks history in school, it seems, about themselves in particular. But I'm saying that it used to be a positive to know how you got to where you are. And it helps you to not make the same mistakes that you allegedly made to get where you are, or to understand who are people trying to suppress you and keep you where you are. So in school, if I'm understanding the creation theory that these folks are giving to us, then I have to believe that it must be something that we need to know because they don't want us to know it.
Well, they don't want you to know your true history because it may motivate you in terms of recognizing that you are a great people.
I tell people all the time that you have to admire the Jewish people for discussing the Holocaust and any other issues that they have had to overcome or be faced with. When you come to a lot of African American people, they don't want to talk about slavery. They don't want to talk about segregation. The NAACP is 112 years old now, and should have been out of existence many, many years ago, because we were founded because the issues that we had to face that were oppressive to us. So here we are now being told we don't want to talk about it, or you shouldn't talk about it, because talking about it is supposed to make you angry. No, it makes you more knowledgeable, more aware. So when someone's trying to suppress you, you know what they're trying to do to you, because here's your history will reward you, because you know this is what happened before. So you want to do everything you can to make sure it does not happen again.
Amen. And what is happening in several states now, they're making it illegal to teach it critical race theory because it may make white folks feel uncomfortable. So therefore, you cannot teach anything that makes white folks feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? Maybe it does, but it doesn't to me.
I have had a recent experience. My daughter and her family, 2 children, 6 and 4, they moved to Austin, Texas, from here in Emeryville.
Mm-hmm.
And they enrolled the children. The young man was eligible for kindergarten, but he was 16 days too young for kindergarten, so he had to wait out a year. But Texas, the politics in Texas are different than politics in California.
You got that right.
You would hope that enough Californians move to Texas as they are to change the political atmosphere that exists in Texas. So my concern was he's now going to school, and unfortunately he's like 1 or 2 blacks in the whole school.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was fortunate enough to leave this area, knowing the diversity that exists here. Having gone to a Chinese Montessori school initially, pre-kindergarten, and he can learn how to speak Chinese. Now he goes to Texas, now he learns to speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. But I want him to learn about us. And in Texas, they're not going to teach about us. So here we are trying to give him all the black history we can possibly give him and make him understand that we are a very, very intelligent, very, very strong, very, very powerful people. And they do everything they can to de-escalate us, just to take all the power.
But what can we do to fight back? NAACP likes to fight back.
Well, what we're doing right now, and we probably a problem that's really existing that people don't want to pay attention to, is literacy. If you have the ability to read, then if you want to take a vacation, get a book and go to the library and get a book about Hawaii, West Indian, about Jamaica, wherever you want to go, and be able to imagine that you're there. Then read about your history and know where you came from. But literacy, and that's what we have a problem with in our Oakland Unified School District, is that we have not been paying attention to make sure that our children are able to read, because that rewards you. You know your history. You know what happened to you, why you are where you are today.
There's an old saying, George, that if you want to hide something from a black man or black woman, all you got to do is put it in a book.
That's right. That's right.
And what that means is that they don't read. That's how you can hide it in a book.
Yeah,
but that's clearly not true. There are many black people that do read. but far too many have lost the ability to think and read. Think logically, read. Reading and writing are essential.
We've had two issues that we've been addressing in our school system here. Literacy and also an issue with dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
And we had someone say to us that they were against dyslexia being identified in schools because, one, it would be discriminatory toward Hispanics because they'd be identified as having this eye problem. They couldn't see and read. Then they said that it also was offensive to black folks because black people would be in jail, would increase the jail population, which you couldn't understand what they meant by that. And therefore, if you address the issue of dyslexia, that blacks can't read, then they would be in jail. You know, the population in jail
Well,
would
that's
increase.
that's
But we
crazy.
already got enough.
The governor of California is dyslexic, so
And that's why we should have bought into it.
right.
Because we tend to let people tell us that things are negative to us. You know, it's just unbelievable the things that we have turned our back on. You know, we turn our back on our food because it's fattening. Well, I get my chitlin sausage from French restaurants. I mean, come on, Italian food's it's fattening. But what happened to black people? So when people tell you that don't do this, then they must have a secret. They say don't go into your own restaurants
Well,
and sell your
well,
own
the
food.
problem is if you don't read, then or can't read, then they can pull this stuff on you. Don't touch that remote. We're gonna have to go to break. We will be right back with All About Community. My name is Robert L. Harris, and I'm talking with George Holland, who is president of the Oakland branch of the NAACP.